Hello, this is Hildron from the CC, and welcome to Spec Tech. Today we're going to be talking about the just announced OS X Mountain Lion. So basically what Apple is doing with this is they're doing the same thing they did with Lion, but they're topping it off. Now what do I mean by that? They're taking their philosophy of using innovations from iOS and bringing them to OS X, but now they're doing that even more, and they're doing it with some features from iOS 5. So let's go through them. To start with, Documents in the Cloud has been dramatically improved inside the operating system itself. For example, inside iWork, you have an integrated window where you can actually manage your files on the cloud. You don't need to go to a web browser to upload them or download them. It's all in one interface inside that application. Messages is an application that comes pre-installed with macOS X Mountain Lion, and essentially what it does is it lets you message other iOS devices using iMessage. So I think iChat's probably going to be dead now since you've got FaceTime for other Macs and iOS devices, and now you've got Messages for iOS devices and Macs. So that's a new messaging system, and the interface is very similar to that on iOS, but it's inside a window so you can use it on your Mac computer easily. Reminders is also built in. It's got a nice interface, and I should say the interfaces for the Mac versions of the iOS apps are very similar. They share a lot of the same looks, except instead of a full screen view inside like a tablet or something like you'd use for a touchscreen, it's in a window. So the interfaces look very similar and very consistent, and I like them. So that's how it is for all of those windows across the system, basically. So Reminders is built in, and you can add reminders on any of your devices synced with your cloud, and it syncs with your Mac, and vice versa. So you can have reminders on your iPhone, they sync to the iPad in your Mac. You can have reminders on your Mac, and they sync to your iPhone and iPad, and everyone's happy. Notes. This is a pretty handy one. Currently, the notes are handled through the To-Dos function, I believe, inside Mail. But now when you make notes on your iPad or something, they show up on your Mac with this new application. And you can even take the notes outside of the app and pin them to your desktop. And you can use things like link formatting, rich text formatting, bullets and lists and stuff like that. You can put images in, and it's a really nice application for jotting down notes. And like I said, it syncs with iCloud. So iCloud is really deeply embedded into the system this time, and it's being used even more than in Lion. Notification Center. This is a pretty cool one. You should actually see the video on Notification Center on Apple's website because it shows you how it's animated and how it works and everything. But essentially, it's kind of like how Growl worked, except I personally think it's better. But I'm probably not going to be using these little pop-ups that show up, but you can turn those off. What I'll mainly be using is like the sidebar that you can swipe the desktop over, and you can see all your notifications in Notification Center right on your desktop. So that is really handy as well. Share Sheets is a feature I wasn't really expecting. Essentially, if you think of the OS X services menu, you think of certain functions that relate to certain things you select. Like if you select a file, you can go to Services and, for example, click New Email with Attachment. So what they did with Share Sheets is they took some of those basic sharing functions and they put them into some sort of menu that you can access from a toolbar in an application. For example, in Safari, if you have a website, you can send it right to Twitter, email, all from that menu, just like you would on an iOS device. And speaking of Twitter, Twitter is now integrated directly into the system, just like on iOS. Game Center is now integrated with OS X. I don't think there's much I need to say about that, because it's just like having Game Center on your iPhone or your iPad, just now you have it on your Mac for more access. Now this is a really nice feature that I was really hoping they would do. AirPlay video mirroring with your Mac. So if you've got an Apple TV hooked up to an HD TV, you can wirelessly mirror your computer's display onto your HD TV. It is so cool. I cannot wait to try this. It works great on my iPhone, it works great on my iPad, and now I can't wait to test it with my Mac. That is a truly awesome feature. Okay, so there's another new security thing, and File Vault is still in OS X, but now there's this new thing called Gatekeeper, which basically gives the user more settings for security, like allowing which apps to run, apps from third-party websites that are authorized, apps only from the Mac App Store, or you can allow anything to run regardless of what kind of certification it has. So it gives the user more flexibility with security, and there's a lot more features that I might not get into with that, but I haven't actually used the system myself. When I do, I will probably talk about that on our live show or whatever, and talk about all the little specifics about Gatekeeper. So those are the featured things that Apple showed on their website, but of course, when you actually use a system, you get into the habit of wanting to share your own screenshots and everything with the World Wide Web. And some other people have shown some different things, like Safari changes. If you look at Safari, you will see that parts of the interface are changed slightly, like the reader button. It's more like how it is on iOS a little bit, but I think still different. It looks good. And the URL bar, not only does it let you search your history anymore, it actually does have the Google search built in, kind of like on Chrome. I personally might not use that because I just like using it as a history search because that's more useful to me. I can just type like 3 letters in on a website that I visited and press return, and I'm instantly brought there. But at least that option is now there for people who want to use it. Also, another small thing people have noticed, I'm not sure if this is in the system right now because, like I said, I haven't used it, but people were talking about how the applications are getting a rename. Like, Address Book is actually going to be called Contacts. iCal is actually going to be called Calendar. So again, just to boost consistency. Okay, so that's really all I know for now. When I start using the system, I'll get a lot more information out to you guys, but just go to Apple's website. You can check out the features yourself. You can watch the video, and if you just go on a forum or something, I'm sure you'll see a lot more screenshots and stuff posted. I'm excited for this. It's coming out this summer. It's only going to be a year since the last version of OS X, and Apple's already got a new version coming out. So what I'm thinking about for the future is Apple's going to put some version of iBooks in OS X. That would be pretty handy to have. Of course, iBooks is better on the go, preferably with a tablet, but it might still be nice to read ebooks on your computer if you have to. So I think we'll see a version of iBooks on OS X, probably built in. If not, it'll be a Mac App Store app. Also, I think Siri might be built into OS X as well. I'm working on an animation concept for how it might look, and if you follow the Computer Clan blog, you'll actually see a screenshot of that. But the way I'm making it is kind of like how the desktop is showing up, and then like the middle of it slides out behind and it reveals the interface for Siri. I think Apple's going to do something kind of like that. If they put Siri into Mac OS X, that might be pretty helpful for some people. So that's another thing I think they might add. Other than that, I don't have many other ideas of what they're going to do, but I can tell you we're going to be seeing a lot more since this is just a small preview. So that is a small look at OS X Mountain Lion. Expect more in the future from Apple and the Computer Clan, obviously. And let me know what you think. If you tested it out or not, if you just looked at it, whatever you did, just let me know what you think about OS X Mountain Lion, because I think it's going to be pretty swell. So that's all I've got about the next version of OS X, and once again, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next episode of SpecTech.